Good evening to all. Welcome to special lecture series program for undergraduate students, finance and its allied areas, organized by Kolkata Bidhannagar Society for Academic Advancement, West Bengal, India, and coordinated by Azure Academic Services, West Bengal, India. Today's topic of discussion is Introduction to Consumer Behavior, Key Determinants and the Decision Making Process. Today our guest faculty is Jayasree Das ma'am. She is state aided college teacher, Department of Commerce, Harimohan Ghosh College, West Bengal, India. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. So I'll straightforward go to my topic. Will be just let me tell you how we will discuss. We will first uh, go through like what is consumer behavior, what are the key determinants, and what is the decision making process. As this is just an introduction, so we will not go in deep into the models, but we will go for an overview of the same. And along with this, what I'll do is as this is a very much a new subject which has been introduced in many universities after coming of the NEP, I'll tell you how to get good score in this type of theories papers, specifically consumer behavior. I'll give you answers, and along with it, I'll tell you how to get good marks. Okay. So hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am, visible.
Oh, so let us start. So first, let us define consumer behavior. What is consumer behavior? It is the study of how individuals decide what, when, where, and why to buy products and services. It covers a wide range of activities, from how consumers gather information about products to how they feel about brands and how they make decisions. For example, take an example of Apple. Okay, we all are aware of the brand Apple. Have you ever noticed how Apple uses consumer behavior insights to determine product launches, the design of its products, and its marketing messages? You will see Apple often targets consumer emotions in their ads. They mainly emphasize ease of use and innovation, and that plays into consumer desires for simplicity along with state. Okay, so this is what is consumer behavior. I repeat, it is the study of how individuals decide what, when, where, and why to buy products and services. So it answers four WH questions. Okay, now what is the importance of consumer behavior? Now let me go to another brand, Nike. Many of us have been using the Nike shoes. This understanding consumer behavior helped Nike tailor their marketing strategies, from creating products for specific sports to targeting young athletes through influencer marketing. Their success is built on understanding how people perceive sportswear, lifestyle, and the role of brands in personal identity. So, where lies the importance of consumer behavior? The importance of understanding consumer behavior, it cannot be overstated. It's essential rather for businesses to understand consumers to effectively segment markets, develop appropriate products, and craft personalized marketing messages. By understanding what drives consumers, companies can increase their consumer satisfaction. They can improve customer loyalty, and by that, they can ensure long term business success, which is actually the motto of any good brand. Now, coming to the factors influencing consumer behavior. What are the factors? See, I have highlighted with yellow. The factors are psychological factors, social and cultural factors, and personal factors. Now, what comes under psychological factors? Motivation, perceptions, learning. What under social factors? Family, social class, and cultural influences. And what comes under personal factors? Age, occupation, lifestyle. These comes under personal factors. Now, coming to the real life example, Coca-Cola. You will see the advertisement of Coca-Cola. They often tailors its advertisement to reflect the culture and values of different regions. Specifically, you will see during holiday season, Coca-Cola runs campaigns that focus on family and togetherness. That taps into our psychological and cultural factors. Now, consumer behavior models overview. As this is, again, I'll repeat, as this is an introductory class, we will not go deep into the models. We will just go for a overview. We will discuss here mainly two models. Okay, the first is the Nicosia and the Howard Sheth model. Now, coming to the first model. This model emphasizes the interaction between the consumers and the company. It includes four stages. Four. First, need recognition. Then, when a consumer realizes the need of a product, now once that is done, then comes the information search stage. Here, what does the consumer do? They seek information about the product. The next stage is evaluation of alternatives. What does the consumers do here? They compare products. And finally, it's the post-purchase behavior that determines whether the consumer is satisfied or the consumer is dissatisfied. This model highlights how effective communication from company can influence each stage of the decision process. So here the key word is effective communication from company to the consumers. Take the example of Tesla, where they first created the awareness of their electric cars. So the consumer recognized the need of electric cars. Then they offered detailed product information. So the consumers got their information on the electric cars. Next, the company encouraged evaluation through test drives. So here the stage is evaluation of alternatives. And then they monitor the satisfaction of their consumers, which is obviously the post-purchase behavior, with follow-up service and community building. Okay. Now coming to the next model, Howard Sheth consumer behavior model. Now this model is another key framework in understanding consumer behavior. It breaks down the process into three components. Previously, in the previous model, there were four stages, and here in this model, there are three components. Number one, input stimuli, which include marketing and environmental influences. Second, consumer characteristics. That includes attitude, motivation, and post experiences. And third comes the decision process, which ultimately leads to the purchase. Now, this model actually provides a comprehensive view of how both internal and external factors interact to shape consumer decisions. So, here the key word is interaction between the internal and external factors leading to the consumer decision making process. Now, again, coming to the example, Starbucks. Starbucks uses this model to analyze how consumer attitudes and motivation, along with environmental factors like store atmosphere, location, that influence their coffee buying decisions. This models actually help them to customize the in-store experience and marketing efforts based on the consumer behavior. Okay, Acha, one thing, see, for every slide, you may think like, why ma'am is going for so many real life examples? But this is a very much a topic, consumer behavior, which is very much, related to us, because we are also consumer of products, and we are also influenced and affected by all these factors each and every day whenever we decide to purchase any goods and services. So this subject should be very close to our heart. This is not at all a simple theoretical subject. Rather, this is simple if you understand it with example, and complex if you just want to mug up. So it's better you try and understand each and every point and correlate it with some real life example, because that's what is actually the requirement of introduction of this subject to you, so that you can understand the behavioral change in the consumers, and that will help you in answering in exams and also in facing your interviews. And if you are a marketing person, if you take marketing for specialization and join up in any company in the marketing field, you will be able to correlate, and that will give you a better insight. So whenever you are studying this subject, tip number 1 and tip number 10, that is the first and the last tip is, please correlate each and every point, everything with a very much real life example. Okay. Now, marketing ethics in consumer behavior. Now, marketing ethics, rather, this ethics play a vital role in consumer behavior. Now, you will say, why? This ethical marketing means being honest, transparent, and fair with consumers. And we all want that everyone treat us fairly. We don't want to be cheated. So, we being consumer don't want to be cheated. So, we prefer honest, transparent, fair marketing. It involves respecting consumers' privacy, ensuring product safety, and providing truthful advertising. Marketers who engage in ethical practices are more likely to gain the trust of consumers. And if you gain the trust of consumers, only then you can create stronger relationship and build up brand loyalty. If you cannot build brand loyalty, then you will lose. You will lose, and your competitors will win. Now, here also I'll try to give you an example. Patagonia, okay, it's known for its ethical marketing. This Patagonia's Don't Buy This Jacket campaign, it encouraged consumers to buy less, aligning with the company's commitment to environmental sustainability. This transparency helped build trust and loyalty among ethical consumers, and thus it is a successful brand today. Okay. Now, consumer as an individual. Consumers are individuals. We are consumers. We also exist individually, and we all of us have unique needs, unique desires, and preferences. These are influenced by various psychological factors, including our personality, motivation, perception of products, and what not. Now, understanding these individual characteristics allows marketers to create personalized marketing campaigns that connect the consumers on a deeper level, influencing their purchase decisions. So, here the best example will be Netflix. Netflix, you will see it tailors its recommendations based on individual viewing habits, offering personalized content recommendation that influence viewers to choose what to watch next. Their algorithm understands individual preferences, which increases customer satisfaction, and thus they are able to retain us. You will see people getting addicted to Netflix, because once you start seeing horror movies, they understand that after seeing 3 to 4 horror movies, that You will like horror movies, and they will continue recommending the best horror movies, and you will continue watching it. They'll be able to retain you. Okay. Now, coming to the next slide, motivation and needs in consumer behavior. Here, we have to correlate it with Maslow. I hope you all are aware of Abraham Maslow, the hierarchy of needs theory. And this theory is also applied to understand the consumer behavior. Why? Because motivation is a key driver in consumer behavior. And Maslow's hierarchy of needs suggests that consumers are motivated to fulfill basic needs such as food, shelter, followed by psychological needs like social belonging, self esteem, and once these are met, they seek self actualization. And so, marketers can use this hierarchy to identify and address the different level of needs in their target so that the target audience uh, uh, understands and it ensures that the products meet consumers at various stages of need. uh, IKEA. Okay, it's a company, IKEA. It taps into Maslow's hierarchy by addressing the basic needs for affordable furniture. So they play into our psychology and then focus on aesthetics, self expression, and identity through customizable home designs where it fulfills our self actualization. So, see, this starts with our basic need, that is affordable furniture that is required by each and everyone for so that they can furnish their home, and then they move on to focusing on the customizable products which are obviously more costly, and but they they that time do not only fulfill our basic needs, but they give us status, lifestyle, a way we want to express our lifestyle. So it makes us happy from within. It is not the basic requirement. It gives us it fulfills the self actualization need. Now, we will wait for 1 minute. Okay, just relax, wait for 1 minute, and then from beginning again we will go through each and every slides, and then we will proceed further, because if I go on telling like this, most of the things will just go away. So it's better we will try to relax our brain for 1 minute. We will meditate for 1 minute, then we will revise, and then we will proceed further. Okay, so just let us relax. Okay, so 1 minute is over. Please come back. Thank you for rejoining. And what we are doing today in this presentation, through this presentation, we are diving into the fascinating world of consumer behavior. We are exploring its key determinants and understanding the decision-making process. We have already explored the determinants, and we want to further proceed and understand the decision making process that consumers go through when purchasing products and services. So, before uh, going into the decision making process, let us revise how marketers can better understand their consumers through consumer behavior. Here we have, in the first slide, we have discussed what is consumer behavior. Here the key word was how individuals make decisions. Okay, how individuals make decisions and what do they decide about, what, when, where and why to buy products and services. Okay, I'll wait for 3 to 5 seconds for every slide. I'll request every audience to please cooperate and just read through. There's nothing to remember, nothing to mark up. Just read through, and at the end of our session, you will see you have understood and it's crystal clear in your brain. There's no problem. I'll wait. Okay. Next, we have discussed importance of consumer behavior. Why is it important? It is important for businesses to cater to the needs and preference of target market. It helps marketers to effectively segment markets, and the most important point, it helps building strong customer relationships. Please go through. Okay. Now, the third slide was factors which influence consumer behavior. There are several factors that influence consumer behavior. It includes psychological factors like motivation, perception, learning, social and cultural factors like family, social class, culture, and additionally personal factors like age, occupation, lifestyle, even your financial status can also shape your consumer's choice. So obviously the marketers should under this factor to tailor their offerings effectively to meet consumer needs. I'll wait for 5 seconds. Let your brain get settled. Now coming to the models. We have been talking about the two models. In the first case, there was 4 stages. The first stage is need recognition. Then comes the information search stage. Third is evaluation of alternatives. And fourth is the post-purchase behavior. What is the key word in this model? How effective communication from the company is and how effectively it can influence on each stage of the decision process through effective communication. So effective communication is the key word here in this model. I'll wait for 5 seconds, just go through. Now, coming to the next model, here we said that in this model there are 3 components. That includes input stimuli, means marketing and environmental influences. Second, consumer characteristics. That leads actually, and this both collectively leads to the purchase decision. So here the key word is how internal and external factors interact to shape consumer decisions. I'll wait for 5 seconds, just go through. Marketing ethics. Ethics, the word ethical is very important. We do not want to be cheated. So being consumers, we want the marketers, the sellers to be honest, transparent and fair. Only if they do not cheat us, we will like their products and it will help creating a brand loyalty. I'll wait for 5 seconds. Here the keyword is trust. Next is consumer as an individual. We individually have personal unique needs, desires, preferences. And this influenced by various psychological factors along with our individual characteristics helps us in making decisions. Okay. Moving on to the next slide. Here we were talking about motivation, and whenever we talk about motivation, Maslow is very important. We all have read Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory, and here marketers, the key word is that the marketers can base their design, their strategies by targeting various needs that have been specified by Maslow. Please try to correlate with what you have read in Maslow's hierarchy theory and what I am telling you now. Take 5 seconds, resettle. Next, we will move on to a fresh slide. Okay. Now, personality and perception in consumer behavior. A consumer's personality plays a huge role in shaping their preferences. Traits like introversion, extroversion, they can also influence how consumers interact with products and brands. Similarly, perception refers to how consumers interpret information and make sense of marketing messages. How consumers perceive a brand can significantly affect their purchasing decisions. So, marketers must carefully craft their messages to shape the right perception. Take the example of L'Oreal. You will see L'Oreal targeting different segments based on personality traits and self perception, offering distinct products for various consumer groups, such as luxury products for status conscious consumers or more affordable options for those focused on functionality. So, personality and perception plays a very important role. Next, learning, attitude, and behavior. Consumer behavior is also shaped by learning. Through experiences and exposure to products or brands, consumers acquire knowledge that influences future decisions. Theories of learning, you have read also classical conditioning and operant conditioning. This you have gone through already in your plus 2 and that level in your first semester. Explain how consumers from associations with products. Additionally, attitudes which are formed over time, they also play a crucial role in shaping how consumers feel about a brand and whether they will purchase it again. Take the example of McDonald's. All of you have visited McDonald's, I'm sure. Over time, you will have seen that McDonald's has shaped consumer attitude through consistent exposure and experiences. Their Happy Meal campaigns help shape positive associations with children and families, creating a sense of nostalgia and emotional attachment that influence repeat purchases. And therefore, we visit again and again to the McDonald's stores. Next, communication and persuasion in marketing. Nike, the company Nike, they have a Just Do It campaign. This is an iconic campaign which uses emotional appeal to persuade consumers that they can overcome any obstacle. And therefore, here Nike uses this motivational message and endorsement by famous athletes which exemplifies, which rather sets examples, persuasion in marketing. Why and how? It is just because effective communication is a key to influencing consumer decisions. Marketers can use various channels from advertising, social media, word of mouth to communicate with consumers. Persuasion techniques are often used to shape consumer attitudes and influence purchasing decisions, whether through emotional appeal, logical argument, or social influence. Persuasive marketing can significantly impact your choices, my choices, and consumer choices. Now, coming to social and cultural influences on consumer. H and M. H&M uses social and cultural influences in their marketing campaigns. How? By tapping into diverse cultural trends, collaborating with fashion influencers across different regions, and promoting campaigns that resonate with cultural norms and values, because consumers do not make decisions in isolation. They are deeply influenced by their social and cultural environment. And even your family plays a pivotal role in shaping your purchase decisions, as do social class and your cultural norms. Additionally, even peer influence and societal trends affect how consumers view products and brands. You may like to eat, from the cheap canteens, but it is your birthday, you want to give a treat, and your brother or sister prefers a Domino's pizza. So you are getting influenced, and therefore you are shifting your preference to towards certain brands or products or services. So marketers must consider that these factors to design strategies that resonate with specific social and cultural groups. Coming to our last slide related to our topic, consumer decision making process, good versus services. Uh, when buying a car, okay, you will see consumers often evaluate physical features like size, engine, capacity, color. They may compare multiple car brands. Now, if you want to buy airline ticket while booking a flight, what will you see? You will consider less tangible aspects like the reputation of the airlines, reviews about consumer service, and the overall travel experience, which is often influenced by perceived risk regarding comfort and punctuality. So, what we can come to the conclusion related to the good versus service decision making process. Consumer decision making process generally follow five stages. Five: need recognition, information search, evaluation of alternatives, purchase decision, and post purchase behavior. However, this process differs for goods and services. For goods, the evaluation is often based on tangible features, as I gave the example of automobile purchase, whereas in case of services, which are intangible, it involves a higher level of perceived risk, like I gave the example of airline ticket purchase. So here, marketers need to adapt their strategies depending on whether they are promoting a product or a service. Okay, now again, a 1 minute break. Take 1 minute, resettle, meditate. We will revise what we have started in the second phase, and then we will go to the final slide, followed by the question answers. Okay, come back, resettle, take a deep breath. Now again, uh, personality and perception in consumer behavior. Here, the key word was marketers' ability to shape consumers' perceptions can significantly affect brand perception and purchase decision. Learning attitude and behavior. Here, the key takeaway was attitudes formed over time also play a significant role in shaping consumer preferences and purchase decisions. Go through once. Go through the previous slide also. I forgot to give you time for the previous slide. Now go through this slide. Consumer behavior is shaped by learning. Okay. So your experience and your exposure to the product, the brand, it matters. Because what knowledge you acquire, what exposure you got, what was your experience, that influences your future decisions whether you will repeat your purchase behavior or not. Okay. Communication. Here the keyword was effective communication. You have to communicate. Why? The consumer process, there are 5 stages. You have to create the need. How? Through effective communication. You have to share the information. How? Through effective communication. Only then they will choose between the products. They will go for evaluation of alternative products. And then the post-purchase behavior, that also, you have to go for effective communication. You have to do surveys. You have to take up follow-up. You have to keep a follow-up so that you understand what your consumers actually want. Social and cultural influences on consumers. Here, the key takeaway was consumers do not make decisions in your isolation. When your father decides to take a car loan, he obviously talks with your grandparents if they are there, with your mother, and then they take this decision because this is a big financial decision. This is going to affect the whole family. Therefore, he perhaps sits and take the decision, and the decision is influenced by all the family members. When you are going to a restaurant for a dinner, you are influenced by your peer, your friends. Then coming to the consumer decision making process, there are the 5 stages: need recognition, information search, evaluation of alternatives, and purchase decision, post purchase behavior. And for the tangible and for the intangible, that is for the goods and the services, your perception towards the product and the services differs. Therefore, there is a slight difference in the decision making process also. So, uh, I'll end up with an example again. Apple's consumer behavior strategies, such as focusing on user experience and emotional appeal, have made them successful in connecting with their audience. In contrast, Microsoft's focus on functionality and reliability appeals to different motivations, showing how consumer behavior drives company strategy. So, consumer behavior is an essential area of study for marketers who want to connect with their target audience effectively. By understanding the various determinants of consumer behavior, such as the psychological, social, cultural factors, businesses can better shape their marketing strategies, whether it's utilizing models like Howard Shade or applying ethical practices. Understanding the decision making process is the key to the driving consumer actions and achieving market success. So, whenever you are studying this chapter, or studying any chapter from consumer behavior, try to correlate with real life examples, because these examples will illustrate how consumer behavior theories are applied in the real world scenarios, and they will demonstrate the role of understanding your consumers in developing successful marketing strategies. So this subject itself is important for you and obviously for the sellers, the marketers. Okay. Now coming to the question answer session, as this special lecture is specifically for the undergraduate students, I would like to draw your attention towards different questions, the pattern of questions that can be set from this chapter. I'll just or it's better you all go through the questions. I'll wait for 1 minute. Then I'll tell you how to write the answer that I have already presented in the slide, that I'll explain. This question just go through. I'll just wait. These are very short questions. This generally can be set for 2 marks. If any of you need these questions, I can share the whole PPT. So from there you can get the slides. I mean the questions. Okay, moving on to the next slide. These are the short questions. This generally can be set up for 5 marks. Please go through. Done. Moving on to the long questions. These long questions are preferably they are set for 10 marks. I hope you do not want me to read these questions, because it's better you all go through. Then after this, I'll be discussing how to answer these questions. What should be your style of writing the answer? Done. Now, uh, a bit of tidbit for how to write these answers. This is for a 2 marks question. See, define consumer behavior and explain its importance in marketing. I have highlighted with blue to tell you that first, in the first line, I have defined consumer behavior, and then in the second line, I have explained its importance. So, as this is a 2 marks question, within 2 to 3 lines, I have to wind up giving all the key points directly. I have to hit below the belt and give the answers directly without beating around the bush, so that whoever is checking my copy, get the keywords, they can mark the keywords and give me full marks. I have written consumer behavior refers to the actions and decision making processes of individuals in purchasing and using products or services. It is important in marketing as it helps marketers understand consumer needs, preference, and motivations to create effective strategies that drive sales and customer satisfaction. Understanding consumer behavior is essential for marketers as it provides valuable insights to effectively meet consumer needs and drive business success. If the same question would have been given for 5 marks, I would have elaborated it with bullet points. I would have said for marketers, as it provides valuable insights to effectively meet consumer needs, I'll explain. Drive business success, I'll give an explanation. Okay. So this way you have to write your. Oh. Now coming to the 5 marks question. Discuss the importance of understanding consumer behavior for marketers. 5 marks. See here I have given bullet points. The keywords I have highlighted by making them bold. So if it's a 5 marks question, you have to, it is better if you can give them in bullets because it's easy to check, it's easy to see whether you have covered all the points and it's easy for you to also explain, and 1 to 2 line explanation for every point is enough, and this would have been better if a one single line as an introduction can be given. I've written targeted marketing, understanding consumer behavior helps marketers segment their audience and create tailored products, services, and marketing campaigns that appeals to specific consumer groups. So see, I have not beaten around the bush. Directly I have discussed. I have, but in single line, I have elaborated my point. Your points, the bulleted points should be such that so that it can help communicate certain meanings. But this targeted marketing, this word I cannot use in a 2 marks question because only writing this phrase will mean nothing without the explanation. So in 2 marks question, you always have to write a sentence. You have to write the answer in a statement so that the explanation is crystal clear. While in case of 5 marks and 10 marks, you get a chance to elaborate. So here you give a bullet point and then you elaborate. If the same question would have been given for 10 marks, what would I have done? I would have written an introduction. I would have given this in the body. I would have made a small diagrammatic representation of these 5 points by making a sun, writing in the middle importance of understanding consumer behaviors in the for marketers, and for each ray I would have used the each ray as a point and followed by a concluding line that thus consumer behavior is important and there's blah 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 blah. Okay, now coming to our 10 marks question, whatever I have said now, that's what I have done. Here the question is compare and contrast the two models of consumer behavior and how do these models help marketers understand consumer behavior. So there are basically 2 questions. So for the first one, first they have asked to compare and contrast, and then they have asked how do these models help marketers to understand their consumer behavior. So what we have done is, rather what I have done is, first I have given an introduction regarding these 2 models. I have said that these models of consumer behavior are 2 important frameworks that help marketers understand how consumers make decisions. These models offer different perspectives on the process of consumer decision making and the factors influencing it. By comparing and contrasting these models, we can get insight into how marketers can develop effective strategies to influence consumer choices. So, see, from the first question, I have led my answer towards the second question also. Now, this comparison and contrast I have given in bullet point because this was a bit difficult in giving it in tabular point. If you can give it in a tabular form, along with mentioning the basis for comparison, it will be the best. Or else, go for this method, give the basis for comparison, discuss. In the first bullet, I have talked about the model number 1. In the second, I have talked about the model number 2. Then, once this is done, once this is done, what I have done is I have changed paragraph and again given the heading how this model help marketers, because if there are 2 to 3 questions which have been if they are given collectively, you should always change the paragraph along with changing the headlines, because it gives a crystal clear understanding to whoever is taking your paper that where your the first answer ends and where your second answer begins. So a headline is a must with a colon, and it's better if you can make it bold, or you can just underline it with the same pen that you are writing. And here, how these models help marketers, that again I have given in points because it's helpful in getting scoring marks. What I have not done is, as these were 2 questions were collaborated together, so I haven't gone for further details. But if these questions were given to me separately, I would have given diagrammatic representation here also, because diagrammatic representation gives a better view and a better impression that you know a lot and you can represent to it. How? Your mother also makes biryani, but still you go to Arsalan to have biryani. Why? Because of the ambience and the presentation. You want to enjoy the ambience and the presentation. Same here also. Your copy must give that ambience, that presentation, so that the person, is forced to give you full marks. And your 10 marks answer must have a conclusion. Okay, here also I have given a conclusion. Okay, so here I end my session. Thank you for your time and attention. Again, I'll repeat the same thing that I have started with. That is, whenever you are going for this subject, please, please try to correlate every chapter with your real life examples. That will help you to understand the subject better and to enjoy your subject. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this lucid explanation on the introduction of consumer behavior and their key determinants and the other things you have covered. You have not only covered the consumer behavior, you have guided all the students about how to write the question and answer and what are the important question is. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your continuous contribution to our society and students. Thank you so much, ma'am. We hope we will get your contribution in our society in future also.
Sure.
Thank you, ma'am. So
Thank
we
you
are
and good night to you all.
good night, ma'am. Good night.
Thank you, and thank you to sir also for the opportunity and also the team.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.